I will resist all temptations of love. I will not vacillate. I beg of you, give me initiation. Ptahhotep smiles again and strokes my hair. I feel tremendous power flowing through his hand and into my head like a strong current. Truly, he says, I am not accustomed to this type of behavior. Do you think, my child, that when I tell you I won't initiate you and you throw yourself on your knees before me, this will make me change my mind? One of the requirements of initiation is absolute self-control. Child, you still have a long way to go on the path of self-control. And your self-assurance is not in equilibrium with your experiences. First gain the necessary experience, then you can come back. I see that he has nothing more to say. I stand up and take leave of him. Father of my soul, I'll go now, but you're not going to abandon me, are you? May I come back to you again some other time? Ptahhotep answers with ineffable love, I know that you have been alone very much ever since your early childhood and you still are. It just had to be that way so you could develop your self-reliance. But you are never alone and you must feel that, really. You are united with us by the eternal band of the highest laws of affinity and association. I am always with you even when you do not know it. I knew before you did that you were coming to me today with this request, and I also know what will follow. But there are laws, which even we must obey. You belong to us. I bow low before him to receive his benediction. Then I go. Waiting for me in the antechamber, Menu asks, how was it? What did the Son of God tell you? Please tell me everything. Right away. I just couldn't understand what was keeping you so long. Please, tell me. Are you going to be initiated? The Son of God will not give it to me. He says I haven't had any experience in earthly life. Thank God. Says Menu, beaming with joy, didn't I tell you it wouldn't be good for you to be initiated? I knew it. Yes, Menu, you know everything better, but just leave me in peace now. I want to put some order in my thinking. And we walk on silently back to the palace. All night long and all the next day I can think only of Ptahhotep, the representative of God. I have known that on the basis of my ancestry I belong to the sons of God, but it was a great experience to hear from him that he is the guardian of my soul. He is the visible representative of God here on earth, and I know I could speak as openly to him about my most secret thoughts as in my own innermost prayers to God. His eyes saw right through me, his glance illumined the hiddenmost corners of my soul, and that made me happy. It is so wonderful to know that I belong to a living being who understands me without words and who can never be angry with me because he sees everything from above, just as God himself does. I don't need to explain to him what I mean, or why I want to do something or achieve something, as I am accustomed to have to do with my tutors. Ptahhotep sees the most secret motives behind my thoughts and my deeds, even those I am not conscious of myself. I don't even need to say a word to him, it is enough when I merely stand before him. He sees me. His spirit is open for me, and I feel I am in constant contact with him. I even felt it before I met him. I felt a force as strong as steel was guiding me, and now I know this force was, and is, his radiation. I know that he even sees me when I am not with him. Even now I feel his eyes upon me, whatever I do or think is not hidden before him. And in this case he can also see that I cannot take no for an answer on the question of my being initiated. No. I can't see why I should first have to have experiences in love behind me. I'll never fall in love. Men only interest me to the extent that I expect them to notice and admire my beauty. Since they all do that, it's quite enough for me, for vanity is only at work in me when I am in the company of others. When I am alone, there is only one wish that fills my whole soul, initiation. I cannot and will not wait until I have had the experience of falling in love, because I never will. And so that evening, accompanied by a very worried Menu, I go again to Ptahhotep to ask him once more for my initiation. Once again Menu waits in the antechamber, while the neophyte takes me to the garden where Ptahhotep is sitting under the palm trees. I bow before him. He returns my greeting, looks at me with his shining eyes. I feel he's looking into me, and waits. I stand and say nothing. Why should I speak when he knows anyway what I want? He reads my thoughts. He lets me stand. Finally he gets up, lays his hands on my shoulders and asks, "Why have you come?" "Father of my soul," I reply, "why do you ask when you already know anyway? I am unhappy because you refuse to initiate me. I have no other wishes, no other thoughts, only initiation. Please give me initiation." Tahotep strokes my hair lovingly and says quite earnestly, almost sadly, "I gave you your answer yesterday, just be calm and have patience. Remember what I told you yesterday about creative power, and live your life as other young people do. Occupy yourself with your flowers and with your animals, go and play with other young people, enjoy yourself, and for the time being don't think about initiation." "Father," I reply in agitation, "I can think only about initiation. Whatever I do guides my thoughts directly back to initiation. When I look at my flowers, or when I watch my turtles crawling back and forth and living their life as wisely as if they had an intellect, I run into secrets and mysteries to which I would like to know the answers. I would like to know everything, understand everything. I'd like to be initiated. If the turtles had an intellect," says Tahotep smiling, "they wouldn't lead such a wise life. And now you don't want to be wise because you have an intellect, but because you have too much intellect. But now just try with your excellent intellect to understand that you're still too young to be initiated. Come back again when you have your earthly experiences behind you. Then I will give you your initiation." Oh my! It's not so easy to deal with Tahotep as with my dear old Menu. Tahotep is hard, and all my strength bounces off him like arrows off a stone wall. Again I bow low before him and go. But outside I answer Menu's questions in a spirit of rage and desperation, rage because Tahotep thinks I am too young, and desperation because I stand powerless in the face of time rising up before me like an impenetrable wall, as invincible as Tahotep himself. All that night I can't sleep again, and all the next day I pace back and forth in my room, as restless and unhappy as the trained lions in the lion's court. Through being born into my body, my consciousness has been dulled and deadened. I feel as if I were in perpetual darkness. I want to see clearly even though I am imprisoned in the body. I want to know. I want to be initiated. Why should I wait? If love is a matter of indifference to me now, it will still be when I am initiated and omniscient. I already know that physical love is only a necessity of nature to carry on the race. Why should it be dangerous for me not to know this from experience? I have my intellect and my consciousness, and they will protect me from this danger. I won't fall into nature's trap, the trap of love. I'll be able to resist this temptation all right. In this manner I brood all day long. By the time evening comes again, I just can't stand it any longer. I take my veil and go again with Menu through the long colonnade to the temple, to Tahotep. I want to tell him that I'm not afraid of this temptation, that I'll be strong enough, that he can initiate me. Oh, how blind I was! How foolish! As if Tahotep had not seen the future clearly. As if he had not known how everything was going to turn out. But even he must obey the divine law and watch patiently, as I run headlong into my undoing. Watch patiently as I plunge head over heels into an abyss, only to have to climb out later by my own strength. He receives me again in his little reception room. I enter, bow, and tell him with all the determination I can muster, "Father of my soul, I wanted to obey you, but I cannot. I long so much for knowledge that I've come back again. I cannot see why I should wait when I'm absolutely sure I have enough strength to withstand the temptations of physical love. I am strong enough. I have self-control. Please give me the initiation." At this Tahotep closes his shining eyes and remains motionless a long time. I wait with inward impatience, but outwardly without moving a muscle in order not to disturb him. Finally, Tahotep opens his eyes. He stands up, comes over to me, takes up my hands in his, and says, 3 times you have asked to be initiated. 3 times, despite my refusal. It is a law that when a member of the tribe of the sons of God asks 3 times to be initiated, we cannot refuse him any longer. It is a sign that initiation is necessary for him, regardless of the danger he may risk as a result of it. I will speak to your physical father. We will need to discuss how you can carry on your duties during the time of initiation. Other neophytes normally live in the temple during this time, but with you we will have to make an exception because you have to fulfill the duties of the wife of the Pharaoh. Now go in peace. I feel like throwing myself about his neck to thank him for giving